At Highland foundries, they melt several different metals like iron, nickel, chromium, silicone, copper, and many more. So they basically melt them down for like custom made, specifically ordered by customers, into large like melting pots that are heated to around 3,100 degrees, but they vary depending on what chemical is used in the reaction.
Once it's done hardening, they put it in like a microwave and heat it to about 150 degrees for like a minute and a half, where it completely solidifies and it's taken down the product.
That'll heat the mold up to about 150 degrees, and it just helps to cure the...
After they're taken out of the microwave, they are then put with a secondary coat on them, which protects them from basic wear and tear, and that's scraped off clean with just paint.
That's the second coating.
Completely dried. They're then assembled along with over 150 other unique molds that are custom made around the world. The liquid is poured in a mold and then left to cool for several hours. Once it's cooled, the molds are broken up into sand by a vibrating conveyor belt. They melt 3 times the sand for different types of molds. More difficult and complicated equals longer time to mold, etc. There's 3 melting furnaces. There's 2 that are 500 kilowatts and 1 that's...
In the video, they usually dump in a large assorted group of chemicals into the molten metal to bring all the impurities to the top, which they can then bring out of the large container with...
You're just slagging off the metal. As we melt it, there's impurities in the metal that'll float to the top.
Yeah.
So they put a coagulant around it, and it'll collect on the top, and then you'll just dump it out.
Transported between 2 separate containers at around 3,000 to 3,100 degrees. And then between 2 transfers, they lose about 100 degrees. And after that, they're moved about halfway down that warehouse to the actual mold, where it's left to dry, and it loses another 200 degrees, so around 2,800 or 2,900 degrees. And it varies between different chemicals, like iron is about 2,500, whereas aluminum...
and they're ready to be shipped out, they first have to be tested for defects. So the first thing they would do is paint the metal red, and after that they would wait for it to dry, then paint the metal white, and any defects would show up in red lining, and therefore they'd know what to fix, and they'd have to take it back.